Welcome back to this week's episode of Be Bolder. As always, we thank you for listening in whatever format you tune into us, be it YouTube or whatever source you use to listen to podcasts. We greatly appreciate it. As a reminder, we're wrapping up this week, this month's books with the two that we've recommended. If you want to go check out our Substack at Be Bolder. And next week, we're going to dive into some new recommendations. So if you haven't finished one of those books yet, we strongly recommend it. But as always, as I say, you don't have to read the books to also get some great content out of the podcasts that we prepare for you each and every day. So anyway, let's get into it. Last couple of weeks, we've talked heavily about consistency and accountability. What we haven't necessarily talked about is dedication. Dedication is like the big mama bear of consistency, accountability, determination, all of those great things. Dedication is the thing behind the thing. It's your why. You stay dedicated to things and keep pushing forward and stay accountable and stay consistent because you have a belief in something that's bigger than you. Okay, so this week we're going to talk a little bit about, yes, consistency is maybe doing the thing that you need to do each and every day to achieve the goal. Accountability is tracking against the goal to see if you are doing the things consistently that you need to do. And then dedication is doing them no matter what, because you have a belief in yourself and in your cause that the thing that you are about to achieve is going to be beyond great and beyond your wildest dreams. So let's get into it this week on Be Bolder. Dedication is believing in your cause and it's believing in you, no matter how bad things might seem or how bad they might get or how tired you might be or how many naysayers might try to challenge you and challenge your goals and your dreams about what it is that you are working towards. And ultimately, yes, it is a pretty hefty price. We ultimately pay a lot of times to stay super dedicated to the things that we believe in. But the end rewards are often so great, and we can't even really totally wrap our heads around those each and every time. And so I'm going to quickly digress here because sometimes people, are like, well, I'm dedicated to making a lot of money, or I'm dedicated to increasing revenue or whatever it is that the case might be. And I hear that is a great goal. We all like money. Who doesn't love that? You don't see people being sad when they have lots of money to buy lots of ski-doos for them and their friends and yachts and all of that great stuff. Totally get it. Okay, but when you set a monetary goal as your why, oftentimes when we achieve that goal, we're proud of ourselves for achieving it, but we don't necessarily feel super fulfilled at the end of the day. And so I would say, if you're thinking about setting your goals, have there be a bigger why to why you're dedicated to something, because it is going to be hella hard to stay dedicated to being hyper consistent and accountable each and every day when ultimately it's just dollars and cents in your bank account and stuff that we can't take with us when we're gone. So keep that in the back of your mind, because I challenge you to always have a bigger purpose in the goals and the dreams that you're living and you're dreaming and you're pushing towards each and every day. So now that I've digressed a little bit about that, how often are you doing things and you're tracking things and you're, staying hella consistent and hella accountable, and you feel like maybe things aren't moving at the pace that you want them to, or you're hitting some roadblocks or whatever the case might be? When you keep pushing forward, you're doing that because you're dedicated. You're not doing that because you're, you have nothing better to do with your lives. We could all do lots of different things, right? But you're doing that because you are so married and dedicated to that ultimate goal and the rewards that you're going to feel. Being dedicated to your outcomes. It's like this, right? We all have a little voice inside of us. Maybe it says like, do the thing, don't do the thing, eat the Cheetos, don't eat the Cheetos. I don't care. Okay. But the dedication is also our little voice that says, keep going. When we want to do nothing but stop and lay down or give up or be tired or whatever the case might be. And that little voice inside of our head that little tiny voice still has to be so much greater than all of the noise and the pressures that surround us each and every day. Look, we are constantly inundated with things each and every day that distract us, that sound sexy and fun, and we want to do them and all of that great stuff. And I get it. But when we get distracted and we come off course, we are going, well, maybe we'll still achieve our goal, maybe we'll still stay dedicated, but we're certainly not going to achieve it in the time frames that we ultimately thought that we were going to achieve it in, right? So you have to stay dedicated to your cause and to your goals. Look, because you're listening to this podcast, I firmly believe that you are, in fact, dedicated to your hopes and dreams. You wouldn't be here but for it. But you have to trust me. I know that consistency and accountability and dedication seem like basic blocking and tackling, but I cannot tell you how many times people give up when they're right at the tipping point and that precipice of getting over the hump and saying like, man, I just can't do it anymore. Most people are starters. Most people can be doers. Most people give up when they're 97% of the way in. Why? Because that extra 3% is really friggin' hard. That extra 3% is like our iPhone battery. It just clings to life like forever, right? But and it feels like it's like the biggest 3% that we could ever possibly have, right? But you have to trust me when I say like, look, if you've put all that work in and you're 97% of the way in, think about how many people have gotten 97% of the way there and thrown in the towel. Why? Because it's hard. It's hard to stay consistent every day. It's hard to stay accountable. It's hard to stay dedicated when you're watching your friends and your colleagues and your family and your partner and whoever do all of these fun things and you're grinding and pushing and pushing and pushing. It is hard to not let that little voice inside that says, keep going, get drowned out by all that bullshit that's around us each and every day. But you have to be stronger than that. You have to give fuel and food and a microphone, if you have to, a megaphone to that little voice inside of your head. When you get to that point and you're ready to give up because you're 97% of the way in and that extra 3% is really hard. There's a lot of sacrifices that need to be made there. I promise you, there are. Otherwise, people probably would have accomplished the thing that you are striving to accomplish right now. So I say that, and I challenge you to stay fiercely dedicated. Do not be a starter who's not a finisher. Be a starter, be a consistent and accountable doer, and be a finisher. Okay? That is dedication. You need to keep your dreams alive. You need to believe in you fundamentally. Okay? I know there's a lot of rah-rah, sis, boom, bah, but like, you have to. No one is responsible for you but you, and no one is responsible for believing in your dreams but you. So you are the person who has to stay fiercely dedicated to that. You are the person who needs to keep the ball moving forward in your capacity, whatever that case might be. And look, to achieve our goals, we need to maintain faith in ourselves and faith in the cause. We need to be fiercely consistent. We need to be incredibly accountable. We need to be determined and persistent. And we need to be dedicated. We need to ask ourselves, why did I start doing this in the first place? And that voice behind why needs to be able to drown out the noise. I get it. It's hard, but all things are possible when we stay incredibly consistent and accountable and dedicated, most importantly, to what it is that we're doing each and every day. And I get it. It's incredibly challenging sometimes to do. It's hard to stay consistent and accountable and dedicated and believe in the things that we believe in so firmly sometimes. The world challenges us and makes us question things each and every day. Okay, and that's why people give up, because they get tired of hearing it. They get tired of the noise. But I would tell you this, screw the naysayers, forget the disbelievers, forget those who want to crush your dreams because they gave up on theirs forever and a day ago. Okay, there's lots of people like that out there, and do not let them impact your level of dedication and you pushing forward to achieve the things that you need to achieve. You have to stay dedicated. You need to drown out the noise. And quite frankly, you just need to let the small thinkers be small. Go let them do it. You don't need them. If they can't see your big, hairy, beautiful, audacious goal and your dreams, they're probably not part of it, are they? So with that, stay consistent, stay accountable, stay incredibly dedicated. And as always, don't forget, Don't just be bold. Be bolder. Thanks for tuning in this week and every week. If you haven't yet, subscribe and leave us a review. You can follow Be Bolder and myself on Insta at BeBolderCast and me personally at legally_limbs. You can watch this episode on YouTube and subscribe to our new companion newsletter, Bolder Bibliosophs, in the show notes. We'll see you back here next Tuesday.